thankful for the way these stories hold on to the lifetime we won't get back. I know these rivers carry on. People tend to stick to you after time. Places tend to do the same as we do. This river carries on and on.
Hello and welcome to Kankakee Podcast, where we talk about the people and places of Kankakee County. I'm Jake Lamore, and it's been a while since we've had musical guests on the podcast, or at least it feels like it's been a while. So I thought it was time to bring another one on, and we are welcomed by one of the many talented bands that we have here in Kankakee County. And this one being a newer one, that would be City Cash. Welcome, guys.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Of course. Thanks. Let's go down whoever wants to start on which end, introducing yourselves. And
two Nicks and a Jimmy.
Right.
Jimmy and the Nicks.
Hey, could I get two Nicks and a Jimmy, please? Yeah, we were talking about that off mic of the podcast. Yeah, we can start with Nick, I guess. Nick number one.
I'm Nick number one. My name's Nick Galik. I play guitar. I'm lead singer and songwriter as well. And I play in City Cash. That's my story.
That's it. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
That's the end of the podcast.
I like long walks on the beaches. And
I'm Nick number two. You should come down here with me. No.
Much cooler last name than me, though. Tell them the last name, Nick.
So I'm Nick Steele, and I've been with City Cash for a year or two now. And you probably know me from Redneck Remedy.
Okay. I didn't know that was you. I mean, drummers are known to be in like every single band in the world.
And I've joined every band in this
Nick
town.
And I have been accused of that recently, too.
And I guess bass players, too. So, but yeah, I did not know Redneck Remedy was in your...
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's where I started. And I've been playing with these guys for 2 years. And we just released an album. And
well, we've been playing 8 years at this point.
Yeah, those two have been together much longer. I was kind of the new guy walking in.
And then we've got Jimmy.
Jimmy Retondo from the great city of Chicago, Illinois.
And you play bass.
And I play bass. And the local bands, Skeleton Crew back in the day with George Shipley. Played with those guys and Jay Jackson and did that for years. And then hooked up with this guy about 8 years ago. And we've been playing in bands ever since.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks.
Happy to have you.
Thanks for having us.
I should mention the first time I met you guys and saw you perform was at the Bourbonnais Friendship Festival, Battle of the Bands, this last June. I was lucky enough to be a judge. And when you guys came on, you just lit that stage on fire. And I was at my score sheet and I'm like, okay, yeah. It's like, these are the guys, high points here, high points here, high points here. You know,
and thanks for the high point.
We appreciate it. I didn't know you were a judge there.
I was a judge.
That's great.
Yeah, I was one of the judges. So.
We appreciate your scoring and critique.
I think Nick knew it because I think Nick messaged me not too long after that on Facebook and he's like, hey, thanks for the high point.
I thought you were going to say before. What did he say?
Yeah, say before. Well, they slipped me a...
Was there a bribe?
Slipped me a couple 20s and
the rest is history.
The rest is history, yeah. I was just so impressed with your cover of, I can't remember which Elvis song it was.
Heartbreak Hotel, I believe. Yeah.
And the movie had just come out.
I think it was coming out the following day. So the guy who announced us...
Denny. Yeah,
was
Denny
it Denny?
Case.
Yeah, so he, as announcing us, he was calling out the songs.
Case.
Yeah, and he said, the movie's coming out tomorrow. That's why it sticks out in my brain. Yeah. So it was good timing, I think, to play that song.
It was good. Is that usually in your repertoire? Like
I think we learned it maybe a month before that, would you say?
Yeah, it was probably a month before that.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the Elvis movie, to be honest. We actually just, I think I just started playing it one night.
Yeah, we were just Elvis fans.
We were just jamming and it came out.
And then it happened.
Yeah, I had covered it years ago, and I think it just entered my brain one night, and we just enjoyed it. there was no solution or reason behind it.
You took Heartbreak Hotel and you just turned it upside down, and you're just like, forget about what you've heard before. This is it was like a brand new song. It was like we were just hearing it for the first time. Imagine it was almost like imagining we were back in the 50s. That was like 57 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It was almost like being back in the 1950s when it was originally released and feeling that same energy that whoever heard it for the first time back then.
Oh, thanks, man.
It just felt that way. Like if you didn't know the song, you would have swore that you guys wrote that song.
I'll take credit for it as much as possible.
Well, we actually, when we play live, he does sometimes. Yeah, this one we wrote back in the 50s. And then,
the younger kids believe
we don't do a lot of covers, but
right. And
whatever we do, we make it our own.
No, we appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
And your original material, of course, is right up there as well, which you did play an original song that day because everyone played 3 songs in their sets at that battle. You get to play one original. And then the two are covers of.
What was the other cover song that we played?
Did Ticket to Ride. I think we did that.
No.
Yeah, I believe we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Ticket to Ride? I thought it was
something else.
No.
I thought it was something else.
No.
I don't have the papers anymore. I should have.
It was a cover song. I know that.
Well, yeah.
It was Ticket to Ride and Heartbreak. Yeah.
No, we did Slip Kid by the Who.
Oh, did we do? Oh, yeah. Slip Kid. That's right.
what it was.
That was an interesting cover as well. I know my boss, Tim Milner, I think it was the conversation I was having with him. He was super impressed by that song. Just like I was impressed by Heartbreak Hotel, he was like, I never thought I'd hear someone cover that song.
We've heard that a couple of times. Yeah.
Not many people cover that.
No.
Well, I'm a massive Who fan, so I can really dig deep into the repertoire. But yeah, well, I think all of us are to a degree.
Yeah.
But
who doesn't like at least one song by the Who?
Yeah, I like them the best though.
Going back to Jimmy, you said you're from Chicago originally. Where at in Chicago? And
Northwest Side.
How did you end up here in Kankakee County?
Work.
Okay. What did you do for work to end up down here?
At that time, I was machinist making tools, and my brother owns the shop, and he had another shop in Bradley, and he asked me to come down and work in the Bradley shop. I said, "Oh, all right." So I found myself a nice house near the river, and I'm very happy. That was over 10 years ago.
And how do you make tools? How does a person make tools?
On a grinding machine, and it's not tools like you would use. These are cutting tools it's for manufacturing. Like if you're making parts, any little parts, we'll make the tool because it'll come in like, it's mostly brown and sharp stuff, and it comes in through a rod, and our tool will go into the rod and put the form in it. And there's cut off tools that just cut it off. And so just parts, boom. Imagine the top of a lampshade.
Yeah.
And it's got that ornate little top.
Sure.
All that would be, we make tools for those. Master Lock, we do a lot for them. And
so is that that's not like a mold then?
No, it's not a mold. It's grinding.
It's grinding.
Grinding.
I've always wondered how that stuff was made because I know
high-speed steel and grinding wheels.
Yeah, because there's at least 2 machine shops in the area, right? Or no, tool.
There's quite
tool. Like where you're working, there's a couple tool places, right? Or maybe there's only one.
I'm not aware of any others down here. We do work for shops around town.
Sure.
But I did. I don't anymore.
Right.
I don't do that.
Don't do
Strictly a musician now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That must feel
happy.
Nice.
It does.
A dream come true.
Yeah.
It does happen.
It happens.
It happens, kids. It happens.
But then he got stuck with me, so there is a downside to every dream.
Man.
I never said that. I've never once said that.
You didn't have to.
I might after this, but.
So, and how about you, Nick Steele? Are you born and raised in the area? Or?
Oh, yeah. I've been here my entire life. I worked at Steak and Shake a couple of years. And I've been doing stupid jobs until then, trying to be a musician. And I've worked at Monocle's Pizza for 15 years.
I couldn't tell.
He's wearing
I wear it proud. I love this job.
As you should.
Yeah. And I've been in like 10 different bands in this area. Anybody in this area knows me. I've been playing drums since I could.
I would say the two, not to discredit Jimmy at all, by any means.
Oh, that's okay.
But I
We do
definitely
it all the time.
definitely not
They try.
discrediting.
They try. They
Well,
they don't succeed.
You are an incredible bass player.
Yeah.
I
Thanks.
think
He
anyway.
is.
Well, I just feel like Nick and Nick here, with Nick Steele playing in so many different bands, as most drummers do, we've joked about. And then Nick Galik, you kind of being front and center, having either at least one project or multiple projects with your name in the name of the band or group, right? You know, Nick Galik and the Gamblers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the
So-
Gamblers was awesome. That's how I met him.
Did you end up playing drums in the Gamblers, or how did you guys?
No, I did not. I
No,
wish
we didn't
I
hook
did.
up till years after that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
and now I am.
And I known him since he was a little kid. We used to play
It's been a
acoustic
while.
guitars in the yard.
yeah, we
Phil's
used to
house.
half drunk in a
Yeah.
mutual friend's house.
Not half drunk. Not at Phil's house.
No,
it wasn't
all the
half.
way drunk.
All the way.
It was all the way.
Speaking of, before we continue, I have to say this too. We've never had alcohol on the podcast until tonight.
Oh my.
Are we the first
So,
musicians on the
you-
podcast? This one?
You're not the first musicians.
Okay.
You're the first musicians with alcohol, or just the first guests with alcohol in general.
They're a bunch of drunks in this band. Yeah.
Not all of us.
Well, and it's not new. It's not new to me because for many years I hosted a podcast called Pop Punk and Pizza, and there's been drinking on many of those episodes before.
That's why I'm surprised.
So it's no different to me. It's new for this podcast. So
We don't know how it's going to end up.
but wait,
tonight.
this might, we're how many minutes are we in at this point? 10?
We're going to do a
5?
Joe Rogan thing, go
Something?
6
Who cares?
hours.
We'll go 6 hours.
6 hours. Let's
sit
go.
this one- we'll bust this one out. But
About an hour in, the whiskey comes out, and that's when it gets weird.
no, but going back,
Yeah.
Nick and Nick meeting. So it was when Nick Galik and the Gamblers were going on, and Nick Steele, were you playing in like Redneck Remedy or something? Or
Everything was kind of going south at that point, and I was looking for something new. And yeah, that's what happened. We were looking for something new to happen.
Well, before we hooked up with him, we hooked up and we were playing with Ivan Garcia, Jay Jackson. We were doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we were in like 7 other bands
Yeah.
at the time, and
That's like I say, recently we were playing at Rich's out in Moments, and what's his name came up and said, "Are you guys going to leave any room for us? You guys got everything. You're going to leave anything for us? What about the rest of us?"
and that's the thing. Me and Jimmy were joining every single band that we could at that point to
Well, we kept getting
keep
asked. It wasn't
keep
like
occupied.
we didn't have to look for it. They were asking us. So
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
well, when you're good, that's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least I think anyway. And then Nick Galik, you're born and raised in the county as well, right?
I was kicked out a few times. I was born in Kankakee. I lived in Moni, I think about 7 years, and ended up back here. I'm glad I came back.
Yeah, me
Met these
too.
guys, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
me too as well. So how does everyone's musical journey begin? That's always a fascinating story, I feel like, to hear how people started playing music, or what was the first instrument they learned.
For me, the first instrument was drums. I was 10. I was just obsessed with music. I used to have all these, at the time, this crazy invention called a cassette. I had cassettes.
Man, I had those.
Then on to another
What's an A-track?
entity called a CD.
Reel to reel?
Reel to reel.
Anyone?
But
I
I was
had
listening
that.
to music constantly. And my dad, he actually had a coworker. He was a drummer in a band. They were touring and they broke up, I think rather abruptly. Anyway, my dad just started working with him. This guy just came off tour and was depressed.
What was it?
It was a band called Brother Jed. There might be a few people who might recognize the name. They were climbing up the ladder. But yeah, it was an abrupt breakup. I don't know the details, but he went from touring to working a 9 to 5. And then he saw me. As a kid, he met me. I think I became kind of his musical muse at the time. So I gave him my first drum set, first drum lesson. From there, I think when I was about 12, I was playing drums. We moved into an apartment complex and the neighbors kept on calling the cops.
Oh,
And,
drums and apartmance don't
it doesn't mix
man.
well.
Unless you have an electronic.
No,
Kids.
yeah.
that didn't
it wasn't.
exist back in the day.
No.
What's an electronic kit?
Thank you.
Where is that?
We wouldn't stoop that low. But yeah, the neighbors kept on calling the police and I kept on playing. So I was forced to kind of move to guitar. I had an old dusty guitar in the closet. So I just picked it up and found I was halfway decent at it and kind of just snowballed from there.
Were you self-taught at guitar then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, self-taught on guitar, vocally, as a songwriter, all that. So it just came fairly natural after I kind of realized my potential at it.
You just rip that guitar to shreds.
I've broken a few.
I mean, I believe it. You play so well, and I'm shocked that you never had at least one formal lesson.
No, not at all. I was lucky enough to have a lot of really great musicians who kind of would take me under their wing and jam with me. Even at a young age, I could get into bars and see all these really cool bands play. So what
was the first band you remember like getting into a bar to see?
Oh God, I remember seeing J.D. King constantly and just watching him at like 13, 14 and just like ripping him off.
He's a cool guy and he's very
That's
talented.
who you want to rip off.
That you do want to rip off JD.
And I saw him play several months ago at a benefit we put on, and it was the same thing where I was watching him play intently and like I'm ripping that rip off.
Is he still in a Creedence Clearwater revival? Didn't he have a Creedence Clearwater?
I believe he is. Yes.
I saw the Fuzz a lot. I didn't see that.
And the Fuzz, yeah, JD. That was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first time I saw JD King play was JD King and the Fuzz.
That's what I always associate him with the most. I think.
Yeah.
Did he have a CCR cover?
I think he had a CCR.
He plays guitar
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe he's still in that.
He has the voice for that too. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
excellent singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very versatile.
Yeah.
At what he does. Excellent songwriter. Improviser, all that stuff. So no wonder what. No, I mean, I've told him before. I don't know if he believed me, but he's honestly my favorite guitar player. I mean, he has been since I was a teenager. I do mean that. I remember the first time I saw him play. I think it was at Sammy's, not too far from here, on Fifth Avenue in Kankakee. I think he used to host an open mic there. Or something.
He did an open mic there 10 years ago.
Yeah, and that's about when it was.
Yeah.
That I saw him play. It was about 10 years ago, maybe 11, somewhere in there.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah.
Then how about for you, Nick? Did you start on the drums?
I did not. I started with bass.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought it was trumpet.
Yes, and I went to trumpet slightly after that, but I did do the bass for 1 year in grade school.
I never knew that.
And then I played trumpet for 5 years, and I was in marching band at Herscher High School. And then I picked up the drums in about sophomore year. And then Redneck Remedy came along.
When you were in high school?
Yeah. Well, Redneck Remedy came along right after high school. And they had to wait for me to turn 21 to play shows because they were like, I want you, but you're not 21 yet.
Were you their first drummer?
Yes,
then?
I was.
You were part of the original.
They were doing stuff before then, but I was like the first official drummer, like when it started to happen. And then we were on the road. We did everything. Like we toured. We were in Texas, Kansas, everywhere in this country. And it just didn't work out like we wanted it to. And after that, we just went and kept playing shows and shows and shows. And yeah, it didn't happen like we wanted to. And people started falling off. And there was different members. And this is the only band that's kept the same members, which is awesome.
Well, so that's good news so far.
It's still early, though.
It's still early.
Yeah, it is, but...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Nick, we're going to have a meeting after this podcast.
Let's do it on the podcast.
Yeah, your manager said make sure that we wrap this up in like 10 minutes because there's an important meeting after this.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping an eye on the clock to make sure you guys aren't late for that meeting.
Gotcha.
We can be late. We can do whatever we want.
That's what I remember from Redneck Remedy.
Yeah.
I remember them being all over the place, playing lots of shows. But
we
also getting out on the road, though. And what are some of those road stories that you remember? Because touring on that scale, on the low part of the totem pole, you always have amazing. There's always some amazing stories in that part of touring in a band on that low level.
Oh, I have one in particular. There was one member that ate something they shouldn't have. And we were sitting
Was it something that wasn't edible, or was it just like, hey, this is like a 3 old day sandwich. It's been sitting in the van.
Oh, it was a 3-day-old sandwich that was sitting in the truck. And we told them they shouldn't have. And then they ended up, we sat in traffic and they had to run out into the forest to take the worst shit ever. That did happen.
And that inspired our first single.
It may or may have not been me.
Ben?
But it did happen.
So it may or may not have been you. Now, do you remember if this person... Do you remember the type of sandwich that it was?
Oh, yeah. It was Whopper from Burger King.
Oh,
totally did it.
Oh,
Totally did it.
That's, yeah.
And I was warned not to do it.
Yeah, no.
And then we were sitting in traffic and I was like, yeah, I got to run. Luckily, we had toilet paper.
We're an intellectual band, in case you can't.
I've been.
Hey, you want to know things on the road that happens?
Yeah, no. Knock on wood. That's never happened to me when I've been on the road. I feel like I've been with others that have experienced that a little bit.
That was a 14-hour trip.
Oh gosh,
It had to happen.
Whew. That's a long one.
Yeah.
Jimmy, did you ever get out on the road at all?
Not really on the road. Most of my stuff was all local.
Sure.
Chicago, starting up in Chicago. I mean, we played the Metro.
That's
we had an original band back then. The one I told you, they played us on XRT and stuff. And things were starting to happen, but we were all married with young kids, and they started to talk about a tour. People were approaching us and wanted us to tour, and all the wives said, no way. So that's why that one fell apart. And then lucky now I hooked up with these guys. And I've been doing this a long time. It's like I say, playing with these three, the three of us, you can feel it right away. And I knew right away because we kind of hooked up by accident. It was actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it started with Nick, you were doing a music video shoot or something?
I think I was just bored. Yeah, I scheduled a music video. I was supposed to have a keyboardist come out for the video. He canceled the night before, and I didn't want to cancel the shoot.
And this was just for like Nick Galik and the Gamblers, or just Nick
solo?
Just solo.
Yeah.
Okay, so just Nick Galik.
Yeah, so the keyboardist canceled. I had a banquet hall rented out, sound man, girl coming out to film it. So I didn't want to cancel the day before, so I was panicking. I think it was the day of. I contacted Jimmy.
And I said, we need a drummer. I said, I got a drummer. And so I dragged him along too.
Yeah. And then,
but the weird part, just a couple of weeks before that, we were both called to do a video for someone else.
We were, yeah.
Just to mine parts.
Well,
that's why he came to mind. I hadn't seen him in a few years, I think, at least. And him and I were both called to do the same video, as he said. I didn't know he was going to be there. He didn't know I was going to be there. Yeah.
And so we showed up at the parking lot, and she was late. Obviously, she was very late.
Very late.
So we were sitting there waiting, and we were in our cars, and I didn't know he was over there, and I was just bored, and I had a guitar in the car, so I sat out on the curb, brought my guitar out, and started.
And I saw
playing.
A guy with a guitar in the parking lot. I'm like, hey,
so he walks over and he goes, Jimmy, what are you doing here? I said, I'm doing a video with, and he goes, me too. I was like, holy crap.
I think I taught you the song in the parking lot.
Yeah. I said, do you know the changes? I have no idea.
Well, we were told
I
to
hadn't
just
even heard
mime
the song. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And I learned the song.
And I said, do you know what key it's in? So at least I can fake it and pretend I'm in the right key at least. So we got that. And then
who was it for? I guess that was a different shoot though.
This was a different one. It was a very talented young singer named Heather Wagner.
It was for Heather.
Yeah. I highly recommend anyone check her out. She's
she's been on the podcast.
Yeah, she was late. I think her car broke down. She had a really bad day.
Oh no!
Excellent musician.
Wasn't for her most recent video?
No, this was years ago.
That one was years.
This was a while
years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Very talented.
And I never saw the video.
I did.
How was it?
I mean, I look great, you know. It was really good.
Are you saying I look like shit? Is that what you're
guys are
implying?
stunning.
You look stunning. Yeah.
Stunning?
No, I don't remember much of it. I I don't remember hating it. Like you see yourself on camera, like it's humbling.
Yeah.
But
you're a very handsome guy. You know, I wish I had hair like that.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Me and Jimmy over here. Feel you.
Hey, baldness is a choice, Rocket.
Is it though?
I don't know.
Is it a choice?
It sounds cool.
For me, it is.
I mean, I guess. Well, that's true. I guess you
I
can.
went all the way with
You can't. There you go.
Yeah.
That beard, though, Jimmy's got a gnarly beard.
Yeah.
But getting back to that music video shoot, Nick, that you were doing for yourself, not the one with Heather. And this would have been like back in 2019, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it was 2019. I think it was October.
What song was that? Was that Shadows?
No, it was a song called Nameless.
Oh, that was Nameless. That's right.
Not on our album.
No. And we rarely play.
Right. And this was, you were just pursuing a thing solo.
I didn't really have any like direction. I just wanted
direction. You just wanted to do something.
Yeah, I just wanted to do something. It was kind of set up last minute. Like I said, a keyboardist dropped out the night before. I didn't want to cancel the shoot. I just had too many people invested in it, and myself as well. So yeah, Jimmy ended up agreeing to it. And then he said, hey, I have a drummer. So then Nick showed up to Jimmy's house and we rehearsed the song, I think once, and then head over to the banquet hall to play it.
We rehearsed it more than once.
Before going there, though?
No, not that day.
Oh, that day we rehearsed it like 7 times, man.
Before we left?
Yeah, before we left. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Did we?
Oh, yeah.
I
We
thought it
went
was like
through it
once.
7 times before we got there.
No wonder we can't forget it. We'll not play that. We don't play that song for months on end. And then he said, hey, we haven't played that. Let's play it. And we never forget it. Everything.
Yeah.
We definitely, I think that night noticed there was a connection.
And
there was some chemistry.
Was it kind of like you're kind of like, maybe a solo thing is not the way I want to go?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened because I didn't know what was going on. Like it was supposed to be a solo thing, kind of just self-embellishment, I guess.
Because where was Gamblers at this time?
At this
Nick
point,
Galik
it
and
was
the Gamblers.
done.
It was done?
Yeah, it had been done.
What happened with the Gamblers? It just didn't...
It kind of just fizzled away.
Because, I mean, I saw the Gamblers name a lot around the area.
It kind of just fizzled. Like there wasn't like anything that took place.
Because you guys were writing original
Yeah,
music.
it was original. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was never even a point where I even remember us saying, yeah, we're done. It just fizzled away. I mean, I'm still friends with all the guys. I don't think anything really happened. I wish I had a better story to tell. But there was a fist fight and it got bloody. And
yes. Someone got sent to the hospital.
Knocked some teeth out.
Yeah.
Anyway, they came out. I didn't know the direction to take the video at that point. And the girl filming us ended up just making it a band video. And then we just continued playing with each other. And
it was just like, hey, we ought to get together and just jam. Let's jam.
Yeah.
That was how it started.
After it, we were like,
came down in my
are we
basement.
a band now?
Yeah, let's jam. Let's see what happens.
We're a band now.
Yeah.
And then from the first jam, it was like, yes.
I think we're just doing some blues covers the first practice. And then I started writing and brought everything up, good and bad. I mean, I wrote a song he loathes.
We all loathe it. Don't just say
Which song
hey.
is that? Did it make it on the album?
No,
it did not. It did not.
And that's one we haven't played for.
It's a song called
Quite some time.
Lost One, Lost Child. And it's a crappy version of Sweet Melissa by the Allman Brothers.
Okay.
I just ripped it off.
I would never have guessed Sweet Melissa off of that crap.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's awful.
Now I wish we could hear it.
If I had a guitar, I'd play it for you.
You're never going to hear it because we're
and your
never
listeners
gonna
would tune
record
out.
See, Nick and I, we can
everybody.
pretty much take anything and make something into it. He'll tell you that. We can
They
do
can.
something
Yeah, they
with
absolutely
it.
can. Yeah.
Bring us some couple simple chords. We'll do something with it. We'll do it.
But
Don't
there's
worry
nothing to
about
make out of that.
that one. We couldn't do anything with. It was just like,
But anyway, during that time, we were just playing everything just to have material.
Yeah.
And some good stuff came out of it.
yeah.
And then some really bad stuff like that one. But that's the name of the game.
That was like stepping in a turd.
And then
That's gonna be our number one hit.
Yeah, stepping in a turd.
that should have been the band name.
Stepping in a turd.
Stepping on
We
a
couldn't
turd.
come up with a band name. That was a story in itself.
Yeah.
We were Moondogs.
We were
for a
Moondogs
while.
first. Yeah.
They found they were like
we did start as
Moondogs.
And then
Moondogs.
I like
Google
that.
Moon. Yeah, but
But there were too many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's some
There's
old guy from
is there
somewhere.
no city
who's a
caches
Moondog.
that you could find?
You know,
No.
Nothing. I think I found one. I think they had like 2 followers. So I'm like, I'll take my chances.
most of them
but
were
City Cash came
financial
from a-
advisors.
Yeah.
Or debt relief?
Yeah. Debt
Or
relief.
drug dealers.
Oh gosh. But City Cash.
That came from the song name.
Mm-hmm.
He had a song called City Cash.
Yeah.
Let's just use that. Okay.
I think Nick recommended it.
It fits so perfectly because I feel like the sound of City Cash, you hear the sound of Johnny Cash in your music, I feel like. But again, it's not just Johnny Cash you hear. It's almost like, I almost feel like Johnny Cash in your writing and just your style, Nick, it's like Johnny Cash, but mixed in with maybe like 90s alternative and
Nirvana, the Beatles,
grunge, and it's such a.
I've never heard that comparison.
It's such a I don't know, because that's what I hear. I don't know. I feel like it's Johnny Cash getting together with like Eddie Vedder and like writing Pearl Jam, and just writing.
I'm related to Johnny Cash. I am. I actually am.
Where's the proof?
Just take my word. I'm related to his wife, actually. So by marriage, I'm related to Johnny Cash.
way.
I can brag and will brag about that any chance I get.
Yeah. Well, how do you know this? Where's the proof?
Well, trust me.
I'm related through marriage to Frankie Lane.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I never knew that. Where's the proof?
Well, I can get it if I had to, but
that's what I say when I say
it was my Uncle Joe's, my dad's uncle, my grandfather's brother, his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their sister married Frankie Lane. He's from the south side of Chicago. They grew up in the south side in the Italian neighborhood. Cool. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, they used to go see him all the time when he was coming through town.
Oh, that's cool.
So how does that work, Nick, with being the relation
through marriage?
It's through marriage. So my family on my grandma's side, maternal grandmother, maiden name was Carnes. Then there was the Carters. So it's through his wife, June Carter, that I'm probably butchering the family history.
Man, it's almost...
But it exists. That's all I know.
June Carter, that's almost a bigger, than Johnny
June
Cash.
Carter's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was great. Her family as well.
Yeah, the whole family.
Hell of a family.
I think now would be a good time to play a song from the debut album, right? This is the first City Cash record. Are you calling it a self-titled?
Yes, it'll be self-titled.
Yeah.
Self-titled. Yeah.
And obviously you've got CDs of it, which thank you for that. I've got it in my hand here. But I know that people can stream it and they can also download it. CDs are the best, though. We all know that. Helps you guys out if people buy the physical copy. What song should we play?
I think we should start off with a song called Almost Sweet. That's my favorite.
Set this song up for us. What's your state of mind writing this song?
State of mind, it's loosely based around a long-distance relationship that I think I was more invested in than the other person, and coming to terms with that and being okay with it. There's a happy ending to it. Musically, I think I was kind of ripping off a little bit of Chuck Berry and some of my blues influences, Cream.
And J.D. King.
J.D. King, always. I actually might owe him royalties for this one.
No, this one's a little more funkier than bluesy.
A little funky. Yeah, it's got some funk to it. This is my favorite song off the album, though.
It's almost sweet as a cutthroat melody. It's almost sweet as the things that you've done to me. It's almost sweet as the miles that keep us together. It's almost nice when you can't say you love me. It's almost right when you push and you shove me. It's almost sweet as the devil upon my shoulder.
Almost Sweet City Cash from their self-titled debut album, which is out now. And of course, obviously, we're talking with Nick, and Jimmy. Two Nicks.
Jimmy and the
Jimmy.
Nicks.
Yeah, I'm just imagining a guy on the south side. Hey, give me two Nicks and a Jimmy, would you? And so
I wonder what that would look like.
I know you guys have quite a few shows coming up till the end of the year. citycashmusic.com. I was looking at the shows you guys got coming up.
We can always use more, though. We want as many as we can.
Many more to come.
What's the next one coming up?
October 29th at Good Vibrations.
Good Vibrations.
Okay. On Station, right?
Yep.
Station Street in Kankakee.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. We should talk more about this album, though. I love the opening track. It's just like I'm sitting down and I'm at band practice with City Cash. And from I don't know if I'm hearing it right, but from what it sounds like, are you all playing? Did you record this record all playing together, or did you break it in
loosely?
Yeah, we wanted it to sound like it was live.
You did it.
We
live.
did it live,
okay.
and then went back and did the vocals after.
The guitars, rhythm, and lead guitars and vocals were recorded separately. The bass and drums were recorded together because the rhythm guitar was actually recorded separately.
Well, it was first we did a version.
It was a scratch guitar. Yeah.
We wanted it to sound live.
Yeah, we left
did.
we left mistakes in there and left it little rough around the edges, but we wanted to capture.
Because not to brag, but we're pretty damn good live.
No, you are, and that's
so.
what I wanted to iterate once again. Going back to talking about the Bourbonnais Friendship Festival Battle of the Bands, that's what I was so impressed with on you guys is that it's really hard to play as a trio and be very tight with one another. I feel like not that it's not hard when you're a 4, 5, 6 piece, however many members you have, but with a trio, it leaves more room for, oh, I noticed that part right there where so-and-so got off.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't notice that at all at the Friendship Festival. You guys were so in tune with one another. You knew what you were doing. You know what you're doing now, obviously. And
that's why I like this band.
Exactly. And
I'm happy.
And the fact that, mostly the record is recorded live in a live manner, mostly.
Yeah.
It definitely lends itself to like you're actually there at the show. Just, I guess, kind of explain in case no one understands the recording process, which there are some that don't, which I completely get. So most of the time, you go into the studio, you almost record everything piece by piece, every instrument, you kind of do everything separately. Obviously, many, many years ago, everyone would just play together and you would record that, which is exactly what you guys did. So that's what we mean by live, is that in this sense, everyone was playing their instruments all at the same time while the recording was being captured, which doesn't happen a lot.
And he was singing to him that was a scratch vocal that we knew he was going to go back and redo the vocal.
Sure.
So we just go and hit it.
But for the most part,
it's very much of a live recording.
Yeah, and live recordings, that it doesn't happen a lot this day and age.
No, it really doesn't.
Especially what you hear new songs coming out on the radio, especially if you're talking like your mainstream top 40, a lot of your songs have features on them, and your feature artist, Drake or whatever, he's in LA, and then the person who's
I was going to say a lot of them aren't even in the same room together.
They're not the other person's in New York, or they're in London, or they're
and that works for that style. I mean, but it takes something away, though. It takes a substance away from it when I feel like whether a listener realizes it or not, whether they're musically inclined or know what they're listening to, there's something about a band just being in the same room, being tight, having that chemistry, knowing
playing off each other,
that you just pick up on, whether you know it or not.
There's an energy that you can't get.
You can't recreate it.
It's like a religious experience.
Yes, it is.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. And you can't recreate that with technology. And I'm not against technology and
obviously no, because you use technology to record this.
And there are a lot of cool things you can do with it too.
Absolutely.
But there's just something about that experience that's just so vital, I think, to, like you said, it's a religious experience, and people, whether they're musicians or not, they can pick up on it. They really can.
Absolutely.
And we've been told a number of times that for a 3-piece band, we sound much larger than 3 pieces.
You do. And that's what's also impressive as well, is for a 3-piece, you really fill out the sound. It sounds very full, which I was
when we first
by.
got together, we were doing a lot of, I think, just blues covers, like the first practice or two. I don't know if it was ever talked about, but like I know, like for myself at least, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with a blues rock power trio, but I wanted to like take it into another direction to like see how much noise 3 people could make. And I feel like we've accomplished that, whether it's good or bad. I just wanted to just make as much noise as possible, take the audience on a journey. When we recorded an album, take people on a journey. I didn't want it to sound like 3 people. I just wanted to just create a bunch of noise, whether people liked it or not.
Good noise, not just noise.
Some of it's bad, but I like that though too.
Well, when it's supposed to be bad. Yeah.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
All of those elements I was talking about earlier, you can't just categorize City Cash as a blues rock band or a blues band or a rock band or country or southern rock or whatever. I was having
rock. We've
that's
talked
the
about
hard
it, but
thing about
it's rock.
trying to-
But we both came up through the blues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Jimmy and I both came up from heavy blues influences.
and you can hear that.
Yeah, but I
Obviously.
feel like with this band, it's we were asked a few months ago to categorize ourselves as far as promotion. I didn't know how to answer the question.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe someone else can for me.
I had
don't know.
the same experience when I got done judging the Battle of the Bands, and then I was telling my girlfriend either that night or the next day, she was asking me about the bands and what they sounded like and yada yada, and I was trying to describe you guys.
What the hell are they?
And I was having a hard time. I was like, well, they're kind of like
They're good.
they
They play music.
they play music. I was
They're
like,
good.
They're kind of they're good. It's like they're not southern rock, but they're not really blues rock, but they're like I had a hard time.
We're
So,
City Cash. That's what it is.
you're City Cash.
By the way, there was a great
One of
band
them.
there. I think they've changed their name. They were called Tom's Diner, I think, at the.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Cat's
Yes.
pajamas.
Check them out if you want to. Anyone
I
listening?
think they came in second, right?
I
Yeah.
believe
Or
so.
third?
I think it was second.
I
I thought they were going to win it. If I'm being honest,
they came in second.
I really
That's what
thought they
I
were going to
remember.
take first, though.
They brought quite a crowd with them. That's what I remember.
Yeah, they opened up for us too. Yeah, excellent band.
Yeah, we did it On the Rocks.
I think it was
Yeah.
On the Rocks. Yeah,
On the
excellent
Rocks,
band.
yeah.
So I recommend anyone check them out. They're absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So
Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Is there anything else you want to throw out there about City Cash, about the new record? Obviously, I mentioned citycashmusic.com. People can look up upcoming shows.
Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify. You can stream the record there, but
YouTube Music.
better yet, see you guys in person, buy a
Yeah.
physical copy.
Come on out.
I know you're on Facebook under City Cash.
Yes.
Is there an Instagram too? Or is there just Facebook?
Yeah, there is an Instagram
There's
as
an
well.
Instagram.
I highly recommend anyone check out the album, check out the page, follow us, come see our shows, and you will not be disappointed. I promise.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for making original music, because nothing gets me more excited than sitting down with a local band that writes and records their own music. And what's funny is that there actually are a lot of few bands in the area that play a lot of covers, but they also have originals as well, but they don't record them.
Yeah.
And I wish they would.
I see that a lot too. A lot of really great local bands who have good original
they have
music.
really good original music, but they're not recording them. And
so that's the message to take from this: is all your original bands out there.
And that's
record
the
it.
only beef I have with them, is just because I would
They should
love
record
more
it.
music.
because I
Yeah.
would love to be able to have more of the original musicians on the podcast to talk about the original music they're creating.
You know, and to be fair to them, it is a difficult platform to
It's hard.
pursue when you're doing
Oh, sure.
primarily original as far as getting shows.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
does take a little longer. It's a lot easier. Not taking anything away from cover bands, but it's a lot easier if you're doing covers.
Oh, yes.
It's
'Cause
easier to
it's-
get a gig.
It's
It's
almost
easier to
like
get
making a
money.
sequel movie to a
Yeah.
movie that's already popular. It's like there's an audience built in. It's a lot easier. But in the long run, though, I mean, I say if you can write songs, if you're in a band, you have that chemistry to make original music, record it, pursue it. It takes a little extra time, but it's worth it. I think it is.
Absolutely. I
And
agree.
it's far more fun to play originals than covers. There's
Well,
no
you
doubt.
add an element to yourself
Yeah.
to it. I think that's the draw of it
Mhm.
for me anyway.
That's what I love about original music as well. All right. Well, Nick, and Jimmy. 2 Nicks and a Jimmy.
Thanks for having us, Jake.
We appreciate you having us out.
Thank you, guys. That concludes this episode of Kankakee Podcast. I'm Jake Lamore. Thank you so much for listening. Also, a special thank you to our patrons for helping make this episode possible, including Karen Bishop, Jake Lee, Jesse Arsenal, Dave Barron, Daryl Damper, Samantha Rochnowski, Lake Iverson, Travis Garcia, Jane Bostwick, Dawn Harrison, Simon Topless, Scott Wright, Carrie O'Connell, Jamie Race, Joanne Barry, Anthony Vicelli, Eric Olson, Carl Earps, Jeff and Rosa Carroll, Teague Dreenan, Sandy and Steve Twait, and Rose Lucky. To become a podcast patron, go to KankakeePodcast.com, click on the Patron tab, and if you pledge $5 or more per month, you'll also hear your name announced on an episode. There's also other rewards like early access to new episodes, video versions of select episodes, podcast merch, discounts on special events, and so much more. Your monthly pledge is truly appreciated, and our monthly goal right now is to reach $400 per month. Now, we're about 37% away from reaching that goal, so please sign up for the patron program today at KankakeePodcast.com. Our theme song is written and performed by Lupe Carroll and recorded by Daniel Bishop.
This river